Welcome back, guys, to another video on Blaze2K, and Sony have announced a brand new controller, but not a controller you would think of, or at least that you would think they would release, right? It's not a new limited edition Pro controller or nothing like that. It's an accessibility controller for disabled people, people that have issues with their hands and playing controllers playing with controllers the conventional way, with a thumbstick and all the buttons and the triggers and everything like that. Not everyone has that dexterity in their hands. So this is going to open up the PlayStation 5 to a bunch of new people, which I'm excited about. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane. Back 4 years ago, Xbox did something similar. They released something called the Xbox Adaptive Controller, alright, where it was basically designed from the ground up with disabled people, by disabled people, people with impairments in their hands and whatnot, to basically make gaming as accessible as possible, even if you don't have, the fingers or hands or even arms. There'll be a combination of inputs that you'll be able to adapt to yourself to allow you to control an Xbox as you would with a normal controller, right? And it's fantastic, and people have made all sorts of mods to it. They've made attachments for it. You literally plug in all sorts of things like switches, buttons, sliders, dials to basically get as much functionality out your controller as possible, even if you are, if you're impaired in some way, shape, or form, right? And it lets people basically attach just about anything to it to basically get their gaming in, which I think is fantastic. All right, now PlayStation have finally caught up, and we're going to get into it right now. I'm Blaze2K. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon if you love gaming, you love tech, you love Steam Deck, you love just about everything techie, gaming, and pop culture related, because I do too, and I think you'll find a good home here. Like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Let's get into it, and let's take a look. So guys, Sony has announced Project Leonardo. No, not the Mutant Ninja Turtle, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Is that a name of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Leonardo? I think it is. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. A PlayStation 5 accessibility controller, codenamed Leonardo. The controller is highly customizable to suit a range of accessibility needs. And here it is. Pretty damn good. So basically, hopefully at the end of the day, you're going to get all the same functionality that you have in a normal DualSense controller, but in a controller that's a little bit more accessible for a range of people. All right. During their Sony CES 2023 presentation, the company shared that it's working on a new accessibility controller kit codenamed Project Leonardo. Sony shared in an official blog post that it consulted with the video game accessibility advocates like Able Gamers and Special Effect to create a controller that's highly configurable and works in tandem with many third-party accessibility accessories, very much like the Xbox Adaptive Controller, right? Leonardo's kit features PlayStation 5 face and trigger buttons that can be swapped around a wide circular gamepad, as well as a joystick which can be repositioned relative to the gamepad. It will also come with accessories in a variety of shapes and sizes for players to find a configuration that works for their strength, range of motion, and particular physical needs. And has 4 3.5mm aux jacks to plug in third-party accessibility controllers similar to Microsoft's adaptive controller. So it's very customizable, which is great. Leonardo can be used as a standalone controller, as a pair, or in concert with the PS5's bundled DualSense wireless controller, making it adaptable for a range of accessibility needs. So there's a lot of people, that can only use their feet to really put input, play games. They might use their chin, or they might use the palms of their hands. You might use, their a range of ways people play games, and this just makes it even more easier for those people. So let's take a look at the video, shall we?
Game accessibility to me means connection.
That allows everyone to enjoy the stories that we create.
If there wasn't accessibility in gaming, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, for people like myself to play.
It's about the games, and it always will be about the games.
For some folks, it means being able to play a game comfortably. For others, it dictates whether that game is going to be able to be played and enjoyed at all.
So playing games was a very personal experience for me because it allowed me to kind of play sports and engage in things that I really couldn't do as a kid.
The part about the new PlayStation controller is it's designed from the ground up to be not standard.
The controller that PlayStation has developed off of the flexibility for the person to figure out how they would like to play and how best suits them during that stage in their life.
Really, this new controller is a toolbox.
You'll be able to layer different buttons. You'll be able to move different buttons around so that you can make sure that you're hitting the right button combinations.
Main thing I really liked was the way you could bridge over 2 buttons. So when you need to press 2 buttons at the same time, it was just one.
I'm somebody who needs to lay a controller flat and be able to use more of my hand in order to control any kind of controller.
I was able to finally incorporate my left hand back into gaming, which is something that I hadn't done really successfully since childhood.
To have such a powerhouse partner like Sony take on that venture with this project is truly monumental.
We're really excited to see the impact of the controller on helping to make access to gaming available to many more people.
My dream is to be able to affect accessibility at the platform holder levels. I can't wait to see what the community is going to do with this once they get their hands on it.
This controller is a big part of what it means to create accessibility, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it because it's life-changing, not just for me, but for so many people in the world.
Project Leonardo. There we go. Good on Sony. I think it's about time. I think this is Xbox was 4 years ahead of them. All right, Sony could have been doing this 4 years ago. So kudos to Xbox for beating them to the punch. I think we all know, like, Xbox is ahead of the game with a lot of stuff, like the Pro Controller. They released that first. They released the adaptive controller for people that have, you know, challenges when it comes to playing games with normal inputs. So the fact that Sony's done it now, it's good, but they did it a little bit too late. I mean, not too late. Better late than never, right? But they finally done it, and it's great. And I'm excited to see how people use it. Okay, because the Xbox. Like, here's a guy here on YouTube, Zach Colley, who obviously has challenges of his own playing games, and he's got the adaptive controller, and he's decked out for him to use it in his own way, the best, you know, to suit him, and he uses it with a normal controller, you know. So having that option there for PlayStation fans, PlayStation players, I think it's a great thing. It looks pretty damn cool. I want one for myself. Look at that. How cool is that? Someone's got 2 of them here. Look at all the accessories they're making for them. So, in fact, I would maybe even go as far as to say this might be a little bit more advanced than the old Xbox adaptive controller. So, good to see. Project Leonardo. When's it coming out? Let's see. When is it coming out? When can we buy these things? Technically, you could buy this for yourself if you're not disabled. If you don't have any challenges or, you know, issues with your with playing with a normal controller, you know, if you want this on the ground to use with your feet for a little keyboard, like shortcuts and whatnot, you could also do that if you want to. So they're kind of, it's currently in development. They're gathering feedback from the community, so let me know in the comments what you think of this. Are you disabled? Do you have issues with your range of motion, with inputting, you know, using a normal controller? Hell, for people that are not impaired with their hands and whatnot, and just in general, there's a range of disabilities that people have, you know, when it comes to accessibility and whatnot. Using a normal controller for someone that doesn't have a disability can be challenging sometimes, you know. Some people have nerve issues in their hands where they can't grip hard enough, they can't squeeze, just like the list goes on. So the fact that Sony are making an effort, a concerted, a serious effort into making gaming more accessible to as many people as possible, I think that's great, because gaming, for a lot of people, you know, is something they need and they rely on to get themselves, you know, get through the day with a lot of things. So for Sony to take out the time and spend the money in developing this with community feedback, with people who are disabled, you know, with challenges, it's really good to see. And I'm hoping it comes out soon, and I'll keep you up to date on that when it does get released. It looks pretty cool, even for people that maybe not that are maybe not disabled, you know? You might want to pick one of these up and support it, and show Sony that, you know, these things are important. So anyways, guys, I'm Leonardo. Just a little update, a little bit of news regarding Sony and their CES coverage. I'm excited. So yeah, let me know if this is something you're considering picking up, if you need it, or if you want it, and if it'll make gaming a little bit more enjoyable and easier for you. Anyways, guys, I'm Leonardo. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon for more gaming and tech content. I'll see you in the next video.